In this video, traders, I want to talk about some of the signs that a new trader will still be here in 5 years' time. Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate your support, appreciate your likes, your subscription, your comments, and your shares. It is much appreciated. And there's lots of good content now on YouTube, and I don't take your time for granted. So let's get straight onto it. Signs a new trader will still be here in 5 years' time. There's a lot of traders have come through. We've got guys who have been there right from the beginning and are still here. Obviously, the guys who have come, traded with us for a bit, and then left. And I start to put together a little bit of a picture of who I think will still be here in 5 years' time. Still be in the markets, won't have given up, won't have fallen by the wayside or blown up. And there's some commonalities. This is not a catch-all, but it's a generalization, something I try to guide traders to when they first join. When they first join, I kind of send them a little message, say, hey, what are you looking to do? What are you trying to achieve? What are you struggling with? Let me guide you to some of the area in the trader training vault that will help you move the needle quickest, because you've made an investment in time, you've made an investment in money. My job is to try to give you the biggest win as soon as possible. So if that's kind of work on sticking to your rules, if that's finding a kind of a strategy that's effective for you, if that's getting rid of some of the clutter, whatever that is, and I'll try to guide them to some of the resources we've got and then address some of that stuff on the coaching call. So, but here's the interesting thing. You know, some people come in and they are kind of all over the place, and we'll talk about these in a moment. I kind of look at it and go, oh, you know, and some people look and go, actually, you know what, I am all over the place. I need help, seek help, get themselves together, get themselves confident, get themselves with a strategy, get themselves focused on the right things, recognize it's a long journey and play the game. Others come in and go, you know what, it's not for me. I don't want to put this work in. I'd rather kind of try to look for shortcuts. And I don't say that in a negative way, because as traders, we're all on our own journey. Some people do that and then come back and go, hey, or some people it's not for them. Some people go, hey, you know what, I thought I could crack this quickly. I can't. I've got other things I want to do in my life. Fine. And that's no shame in that, by the way. There's absolutely no shame in that. Market's always going to be here. Maybe it's something for you to pursue later on. That's absolutely fine. But anyway, I'm digressing. Let's look at the signs of a new trader. I think that the signs of a new trader will still be here in 5 years' time, 10 years' time. Number one, they're playing a long game. So the very best traders who are new, or relatively new, say, hey, you know what, I don't expect to be doing big numbers right away. I know that's not going to be the case. I've resigned myself to the fact that that's not going to happen, but it will happen, or it's got a good chance of happening. There's no guarantees of anything, guys. There's a good chance of it happening, or some level of success happening, if I put the work in now. If I delay the gratification for future payoff. I can't most things in life, gosh, let's not go on that topic. But you know, delaying that gratification for the future payoff. So sticking to the process and recognizing it's a long game. And some of the things you're going to have to do day to day, week to week, aren't going to give you that immediate dopamine hit of taking profits or over trading, all that kind of stuff. But you know that it's conducive to long-term success. When that kind of sits in the mind and clicks in the mind, I'm like, okay, that's a good start. They read and learn. So to be honest, I think most traders do this. You know, most traders will read and they'll learn and they'll kind of read books and they'll do this and do that. There's a fine line between overdoing it, where you've got all this kind of stuff, you're listening to all these people, reading all these books, you're like, I don't know where to start. But that permanent kind of development. And also, I find that, you know, traders who, you know, are still here and they're still plugging away and they kind of go, yeah, I got my first green year or whatever it is. They're the ones that are doing some external work as well. So they're reading kind of books that maybe aren't trading, but they're related to improving themselves. They recognize that internal improvement has a positive impact on the P&L. And number three, they don't focus on the P&L. Everyone makes this mistake, guys. Absolutely everyone at the beginning. Me, anybody, any trader who is ever involved in the markets, the first thing we do when we start trading is we look at our scorecard and keep score with our P&L. That's why we kind of get so frustrated when it's not working, and why we can't spin our wheels a bit and overtrade, because we're so focused on the outcome of the next trade, the outcome of the day, the week, the month. For a P&L perspective, we forget that it's the process. And when you can decouple yourself from staring at that P&L and looking at what the trade is worth monetarily and financially, gain or loss, that's when you can free yourself a bit to work on the process, on your strategy, on yourself, and the P&L will take care of itself when it's ready. This is why it's important to risk a small amount of capital, etc., etc. But that focus on the P&L really just stifles any growth. If you're constantly focused on that P&L, which I get it, you know, that's why we're here, right? We're here to make as much money as possible with the least amount of risk possible. That's ultimately what we're trying to do as traders, right? But when we're focused on that too much and we hold that too tightly, we miss the bigger picture. We miss the improvements. We miss how to improve that P&L in the future. We miss watering that seed. Number 4, they've chosen a strategy. So I think that, you know, many traders come in and they're kind of trading everything. Like, I do this, I do that, I trade the other, trade the other. You know, the ones that kind of, I think, you know, you're probably going to still be in this game, you know, in a few years' time, in 5 years' time, you're going to have some traction. It's focusing on that one strategy. Say, hey, I trade this opening range strategy on the DAX, or I trade this swing strategy in stocks, or I trade this. That focus on that one strategy means that they can just become better and better and better and better and better and better and better at that one thing. If at some point they find that one thing is not for them, then they might shift, but they work on one thing at a time. They're like, oh, I trade this, I trade mean reversion on this, I trade news around this, I pair trade this, I sell options, I do this, I do that, I do that. It's like, listen, focus on one thing. When guys are coming in saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is a strategy I'm trading, even if it's not the strategy for me, even if it's something I go, hey, that wouldn't be something I trade, but I go, yeah, you try and be the very best breakout trader you can be. You try to be the very best mean reversion trader you can be, because that dedicated and intentional focus on that one thing is what will move the needle. And even if you don't have to stick to that forever. It's not like you're tattooing it across your forehead saying, hey, I'm an opening range trader on the DAX and that lives with you for life. What an awful analogy. You get the point. You can chop and change later on, but it's that dedicated focus to doing one thing that makes you stand out from the crowd. Number 5, they're keeping good records. This is fundamental, absolutely fundamental, because you can't improve what you don't measure. You have to measure. You have to say, hey, you know, these days I'm feeling emotional about stuff. My maximum adverse excursion is way too much. My maximum favorable excursion is way too much, or way too little, or whatever it is. These metrics are important for you to improve. So we've got the internal improvement, and we've got the subjective improvement, or the analytical improvement. You look at it and you go, hey, over these past 10 trades, if I'd held them all for another hour, I'd be up X% more. Simple fix. Hold your trades for another hour. Yes, the sample size is small. Yes, there's people going, it's not enough sample size, but it starts giving you a lever to pull for the iteration, for the improvement. Number 6, they work on becoming a better risk manager. This is kind of circles back, should I say, to the P&L. You know, focusing on becoming a good risk manager, because let's be honest, if you looked at your trades and if you chopped out 10% of your losers, you're probably in a much better position. So if you focus on that area of your trading, that side of your trading, not finding the winners, focus on the risk manager, reducing the risk, not taking excessive risk, then it almost takes care of itself. It's like, okay, is the oxymoron? What's the word I'm looking for? You can tell me in the comments below, guys. It's when you're looking at something that completely appears to be counterintuitive, so the losing section of your trades actually has an impact on the winners, because not necessarily the winning trades, but the number at the end of the month, the end of the quarter, the end of the year. And so when traders focus on risk, manage the risk, how can I become the most effective risk manager? How can I become the most, that doesn't mean trading scared, but it means being very mindful about how much you're risking per trade, per day, per week, per month, all that kind of stuff. When they're focused on that, rather than how much I can make, things fall into place a lot easier. There you go, guys. There's 6 signs. I think the new trader will still be here in 5 years' time. Which ones do you align with? Which ones can you say, hey, you know what? I'm doing those. Take care. See you next one. Bye-bye.